Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Charlie, and I want to help you build wealth in real estate. Real estate can be a phenomenal investment vehicle if you know what you're doing. The problem is it's really risky and can be extremely confusing. So I'm here to demystify real estate, and I'm here to help you build wealth. All right, guys, we're back. And today we're going to look at single family versus multifamily. Now, you know why I like single family and multifamily? It's because it provides a basic human need, shelter, right? There's a lot of other asset classes out there. There's industrial buildings, there's grocery stores, there's retail, there's a lot out there. But what I like is where people live. There's a lot of reasons for that. But like I said, it's basically, it provides shelter. So it's very resilient during a market downturn or recession. So today we're going to look at single family versus multifamily. We have a ton of articles on our website, so feel free to check it out. I'll put the link in the comments, hkigllc.com. And this falls under our knowledge center. We have a lot of articles, I think close to 40 articles. But let's look at why I like multifamily more than single family. With single family, if you've ever bought a property before, you know that there's a lot that goes into that property. You got to buy insurance, you got to pay the taxes, you got to do so much work with it, sign probably 100 documents and send W-2s and all that just to the mortgage company. It's a lot of work. Multifamily has that same paperwork, and in fact it's actually a little bit more. The closing process can take longer. Single family anywhere from 1 to 2 months, with a multifamily apartment complex anywhere from 2 to 4 months, and there's a lot of reasons for that, but basically you can buy a multifamily property with 100 units. Maybe it's twice the amount of work as a single family property, but now you have 100 units as opposed to 1 unit. If you were to buy 2 single family properties on 2 separate transactions, you're probably going to be doing the same amount of work as you would as buying a 100 unit property apartment complex. The next one is insurance. When you get insurance with the property, with a single family property, you call the insurance company, you got to provide them paperwork, blah, blah, blah. When you do that with an apartment complex, guess what? It's one policy, only one, not multiple policies, not one policy per unit. It's one policy. Policy is going to be a lot more expensive. It's a little bit more work, but it's not 100x the work. As far as vacancy, think about it this way. If you own a single family property and your tenant moves out, maybe they were a great tenant and did all the work. They painted for you. They cleaned it really well, and you could get someone in there a couple days after they move. That would be phenomenal. The reality is you typically have to go in there and paint. You typically have to go in there, clean the floors, do a deep clean of the property, take pictures, get a new tenant in there. That could be a couple weeks of a unit being down. Good luck paying the mortgage and the expenses, because you still have to pay the mortgage with that. And a lot of times with the property management company, you may have to pay the first month's rent anyway. So you may be losing money that first month or two every time you get a tenant in there. It takes a long time to turn a unit. In an apartment complex, we know, and every market's going to be different. I'm based in Nashville, and right now the vacancy in Nashville as a whole for apartments is about 4%, and that varies. So if you have a 100 unit property, on average 4 units are going to be vacant at any given time. Well, when we go and underwrite that, we're already taking that into account. So our cash flow already says, yes, these units will be vacant. We're already budgeting for 4 units or 3 to 5% of units not being rented all the time. So the vacancy is already built in there. Another thing about property management that I absolutely love is the fact that even though we're an owner, we are not at the property running the property day to day, week to week, month to month. We have a property management company with an on-site staff. There's an on-site leasing agent, on-site maintenance personnel, and sometimes, depending on the size of the property, sometimes there's actually multiple. And it's great because they're on site, so they can help almost in real time. If there's a leak or if there's an issue with a property, they can be to that property, to that unit, usually within 30 minutes or less, depending on what's going on and what time of day it is. In a single family home, depending on if you have a property management company, they have relationships with handymen and vendors, but it's not usually a 30-minute fix. It would be much longer than that. Or if you got someone over there in 30 minutes or an hour, if that's even possible, you're going to pay them a lot more. So having an on-site property management company is phenomenal. The next one is economies of scale. So the economies of scale is great. You can buy apartments as a passive investor, and you're not doing any work on the property. You put your money into the property, into the investment. You're not picking up the phone. You're not going to the property, not visiting the property. It's just really, really easy to buy a property. And because you have the economies of scale, you have so many units there, you're going to get really good vendors that want to work with you because they know it's not one job that they would get. It's potentially dozens or potentially hundreds of jobs that they would get. So they're willing to discount their costs slightly, and they're willing to put their best teams on the property as well to get the work done. Another benefit of apartments and why single family is not as good as multifamily, in my opinion, is cash flow. And we talked about this a little bit, but the vacancy, when someone moves out of the property, you got to have money left over to pay the expenses, because the expenses don't stop. You got to pay your mortgage. Maybe you got to pay the landscaping company. You got to pay utilities for a short term. And so when that unit is vacant, then your cash flow is going to be very, very low if it's positive at all. Whereas with an apartment complex, you're already underwriting that. All of that's in your business plan. And so your apartment will have cash flow, will provide a steady amount of cash flow over time. And then finally, the appreciation. What I love about real estate in general is the appreciation. With single family properties, though, there's not much you can do to force appreciation. The market around you, the home in the homes in your neighborhood overall will go up over time, but there's not too much you can do to speed up that appreciation. Sure, you can build additions. You could fence in a yard. You could spruce up the landscaping. You could renovate the kitchen. There's things like that you can do that would help the appreciation, but you're still pretty much dependent on the neighborhood and the comps. With multifamily properties, multifamily property is considered commercial real estate. And with commercial real estate, it's not just based on the market. It's based on net operating income, or commonly called NOI. NOI, net operating income, is all of the income from rent, fees, pet rent, admin fees, laundry, vending machines, all of that, all of the income minus operating expenses. And so if we are able to increase income and or reduce expenses, the NOI, the net operating income, increases. And then what that means is the property is worth more money. So air quotes, but we force appreciation, and forcing appreciation in multifamily and commercial property is much easier than it is in single family property. So I hope you like this video. Where we did a kind of a deep dive on single family versus multifamily. There's a ton of benefits with multifamily. I like single family as well, However, and I actually own a single family home. I've owned several in the past that were rentals. We've sold most of them. And we took that money and actually invested it in apartments because there's just too many benefits compared to single family. Hope you like the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.